You've been through a lot of disappointments in life, so you guard your emotions quite well. You are used to being manipulated, allowing others to carve your path out for you by people who are afraid of your light. Those people didn't know how to let you shine. It's time for you to be in the driver's seat. It's time for you to make your own decisions, live life your way. Not letting anyone put anxiety in you, not put fear, shame, or guilt onto you. It is time you stop pretending to agree and pretending you're okay in uncomfortable situations. Hello, I am no longer a people pleaser, and this is why I have been summoned to change the trajectory of your life by sharing how I turned my childhood tribulations into my passion, my purpose, and my power. I got my power back. Today, I'm going to share how you can become overwhelmingly kind to yourself and supportive of your own wants and needs. But a quick mention, I want to invite you to join my SAS Women's Circle that starts on June 15th. And we will be talking about all things healing, where I'll share practices to grow self trust and express yourself authentically, balance feminine and masculine energies, and a lot more, all to help move you into a gentle transformation of knowing your true self. If you're interested, see my Patreon link in the description below. As I continue to devote my time to deepening my connection and relationship with my true soul self, I feel emotionally touched by today's content because part of the inspiration for it is based on some guidance I received last week. I was guided to, and I quote, become overwhelmingly kind, compassionate, supporting, caring, assuring, and nurturing to myself. So, yes, I immediately started sitting with this advice, being open to it, and being curious to know more about how to do this exactly. That's when I was sparked mentally inspired with the words reverence and surrender. Source just dropped both of these words together into my awareness. And I started seeing the connection between the earlier guidance of being overwhelmingly kind to myself and these two words, reverence and surrender, and how the first leads into the second. And I'll share with you here the acronym I had come up with to make these virtues I was guided to embody easier to remember. And the acronym is CAC-SCAN. So it was kind, accepting. I added accepting to make the acronym more fun and easy to remember. Compassionate, supporting, caring, assuring, and nurturing to myself. I accepted and fully committed to becoming overwhelmingly these exact ways to myself, which I am recommending to you in your healing journey. Merely setting your intention to devote yourself to this creates the vacuum. for your desires to unfold in your experience. This is how I do it. It was also important that I cultivate these virtues deeply into how I was feeling about myself rather than just intellectualizing the words in my conscious awareness. So I had to embody them. I had to feel these virtues and being this way with myself in my body. Therefore, my higher self offered two perfect scenarios for me to know experientially how this feels. And let me explain. And hear me out, because you might not know how the higher self helps with this. And these are two ways. The first scenario of what my higher self dropped into my experience, I stopped by a roadside produce stand to buy some strawberries on impulse. I decided to get two squash that I pulled from a basket of 7 squash. The sales lady said those are sold by the basket, not individually. So I thought, okay, no problem. And I quietly put them back. I didn't say anything. I just quietly put them back. I checked out, and when I got to my car, she was waving back over to her, and she gave me 3 squash from under the table that were not as shiny and new as the ones that were on top of the table that I had picked out originally. She said, I wasn't going to sell these because they're a little scratched up, but they're still good if you want them. And I said, I'll pay for them. And she's like, no, you can have them. And I felt that kindness. I felt that compassion and that caring energy. It surged through me. And I said to her the words, that is so thoughtful. Your caring and honesty is so beautiful. I felt it. And that was the first scenario. The second scenario, my higher self dropped into my experience, was a little different type situation. It came 2 days later after the produce stand. When my daughter and I noticed that our sweet family dog, Blaze, had a breakout under her chin, my mind immediately went to a recent vaccine she had just had her annual checkup. It was a new vaccine to prevent both fleas and ticks and heartworms together. I had always used Sarepta collars for fleas and ticks because a previous holistic vet had advised that injections for fleas and ticks could cause liver problems. But to my surprise, in that moment at this new vet, the words, okay, I'll go with the vaccine this year, came out of my mouth. Regardless of, in that moment, I was hearing my intuition loud and clear, reminding me that it was a risk to her liver. But our higher self drives us to make mistakes sometimes that will later on be opportunities for us to choose a new way. So rather than regret that decision, in that moment when we saw the spot on under my dog's chin and relating it back to the vaccine, rather than me regretting that decision, I chose to show myself kindness. I chose to be supporting to myself. I chose to be compassionate and assuring. Yes, I felt it in my body, and I embodied being on the receiving end of my own kindness. It makes me a little teary eyed right now. And I thanked myself for the whole experience, my higher self, for dropping that into my experience. And I know that Blaze is going to be okay. I'm going to make sure. And just the fact that I trust myself and I trust my higher self, I trust Source. I know she's going to be okay. The mistake created an opportunity that was there for my growth and my expansion. And that was part of me getting the lesson. That was part of me learning to become overwhelmingly kind, supporting, and nurturing to myself. And I'm sharing this with you so you can see the detail in our everyday experiences of how everything plays out for our benefit. It is all here to help us. And I began noticing how reverence and surrender, that was also dropped into my awareness, as I explained earlier in this dialogue. Noticing how reverence and surrender was being cultivated in what I was experiencing. Reverence and surrender is being cultivated inside of me. Reverence is a deep inner feeling of sacred respect, awe, honor, and devotion towards someone. And for the purposes of this story, for myself and yourself, to have reverence for myself. To live with reverence means you begin to stop relating to life mechanically in your people pleasing patterns. You begin relating with an attention on sacredness of all that comes in, and you choose to devote to your own healing. Reverence for your body means listening to it instead of overriding it. Reverence for your soul means honoring your inner truth instead of betraying yourself for approval. Reverence in relationships means seeing yourself and the other person each as whole beings, both deserving to have all your needs met. Spiritually, reverence is the doorway to surrender. So there's the link. You deeply recognize the importance of authentically expressing yourself, which moves you into humility and trust. Reverence and surrender, they pair together most naturally. When reverence comes first and then surrender arises from it. Reverence for yourself opens your heart and you feel safe as your nervous system lets down its guard, and surrender softens its grip. Together, they create a state of self acceptance and self trust, self love, and all of the above. For someone healing people pleasing, this pairing of these virtues and reverence and surrender can be transformative, because reverence reconnects you to the sacredness of your authentic self. Surrender releases a compulsive need to fix and manage or seek worth outside yourself. It's beautiful. No more survival mode and no need to be a people pleaser any longer. From me, my higher self, and all my guides, we see you, we love you, we honor you, and we trust you. Blessed be. Talk to you again next time.